welcome. We often say welcome to the early birds. Of course, in the yoga system, it's described that the morning hours are actually the best hours for spiritual practices. Especially about an hour before the sun rises. It's called Mangala Charanam. It's the most favorable time for practicing yoga, for practicing meditation, for the repetition of prayers. Because, well, astrologically, that's true, but also because most people are sleeping at that time. People are not busy with their pursuit of material activities. So for a transcendentalist, they always wake up and they take advantage of that hour or hour and a half before sunrise. It's the best time. So of course the sun has risen already, but still the effect is there. Morning hours, we've rejuvenated our energies by resting, by sleeping, and we have time to focus on what is most important before we begin our lesser responsibilities. We always have to keep at the forefront our spiritual life, because by nature we are spiritual. We're not material. Nowadays, you ask someone, "Who are you?" Most people, this is me. We look in the mirror in the morning. "Oh, I look good today. Oh, I don't look good today." But this couldn't be further from the truth. Because actually we're spiritual. Within this gross body, there's a spiritual force. There's a spark of life. We say in Sanskrit, Atman. There's a spirit soul. And whereas this body is here today and gone tomorrow, you never know, the soul's eternal and survives death. Really, death is just regeneration, rejuvenation. You could say a second chance. It's like a change of clothes. Like last night, you were probably wearing some form of pajamas, and now you're wearing your dress for the day. You may wear something else to go bathing in the Ganga, and you put on a new set of clothes. So if you had a bird's eye view of life, of your existence, let us say, you'd see that you're changing bodies, birth after birth after birth. And we know so much about our bodies. I mean, how much can we really know? We don't even know how we're breathing, how the thinking process takes place, etc. But we know a little bit about our bodies, but how much do we know about the soul? If I asked you to come up and speak about your body, I'm 6 feet tall, my hair is brown, I have green eyes, I weigh this much, etc., etc. But if I say, speak about the Atman, speak about the real, the eternal person within the body, we go mum. Is that English word? Mum. We go mum. So it's kind of a very unfortunate situation. So therefore, in Vedic culture, in the spiritual history of this country, boys and girls, they would start their spiritual education at 5. 5 is when, a young child begins to perceive things. They know what's good and what's bad, what's right and wrong. They can distinguish different family members, and they can talk. And so at 5, in India, a boy and girl would begin their spiritual education. A boy specifically would go to what's called a gurukula, where he would learn the ABCs of spiritual life. And the girls, they would learn from their grandmother and their grandfather. They would start their education a little bit later because they were also taught the responsibilities of family life, of home life, etc. But both boys and girls, they would start with Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jignasya. Now that you're a human being, not an animal, because we went through so many species of life. 8,400,000 species of life we went through until we arrived at the human form of life. Of course, this is not to speak badly of our friends, the animals, dogs, man's best friend. We have cats, we have birds. I used to have turtles. But we should understand the special nature of the human form of life. When Krishna creates the living entities, he gives every living entity a little gift. There's something unique. Every species of life gets something unique. Birds can fly. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Da, 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 why can't I? That's an old song from the 30s. Birds can fly. Fish, they can live underwater. They don't need oxygen tanks. Bears, they can sleep 6 months of the year. Nobody bothers to wake them up. Bees can produce something so nectarian as honey. We only can produce saliva. Bees can make... Ants, they can work like 22 hours a day and never get tired. So my point is that the Creator endows all of his children, sons and daughters, with something unique. So what did we get? We can't fly, we can't live underwater, we can't produce honey, we can only sleep 12 hours and then the alarm rings, we have to go to school or work. What did we get? Buddhi. We got buddhi. Buddhi means intelligence. Just like we've heard of Buddha, Lord Buddha. Buddha means, in Sanskrit it can mean two things, like it can mean the intelligent one or it can mean the enlightened one. One who uses his intelligence to inquire about spiritual life and become spiritually enlightened. So we have this intelligence. So this intelligence should not just be used for science and technology, advanced medicine. That's okay. It makes life a little more comfortable. But it doesn't solve the real problems of life that we face. Even if you're a prime minister, even if you're a famous musician, scientist, successful in your business, everyone has to take birth. Everyone has to get diseased. Everyone has to grow old. And everyone has to die. So an intelligent person inquires, why am I subjected to this? And thus your spiritual life begins. So the process of yoga is there to liberate us. It's not necessarily something of Indian origin. All these teachings that we study in India, they come from the spiritual world. And they're mainly based, we mainly hear about them from the rishis and the yogis here in India because, well, India has always been a very pious country. So the knowledge appears here because people can take best advantage of it. And in this age in which we live, as we mentioned the other day, this chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is a most effective way for making spiritual progress. First of all, it destroys karma. Karma is a big obstacle. Well, you could say destiny. Karma, when I was young, nobody knew what karma was, but everyone knows what karma is now. What goes around comes around. We're responsible for our actions as human beings with intelligence. So if we do good, good comes back to you. If you do bad, bad comes back to you. So this is kind of an obstacle. I want to practice spiritual life, but I'm enjoying so much due to my good karma, I'm not really that interested. Good karma can also be an obstacle. Bad karma means I've got a lot of court cases, I'm always sick, I've got debts. This is baggage we carry life after life after life. So to make our spiritual path smooth, without becoming distracted by the things of this world and the heavy burden of our past sins, we have to get rid of the karma. You have to it's seated in the heart here. It's like when you take your bags from here to New York and from New York to Chicago and from Chicago to Toronto. You take your bags with you. You take your karma with you, wherever you go. And there's no material thing, you can't get some medicine to deal with it. But you can get rid of karma by sound vibration, by transcendental sound, because spirit is more powerful than matter. And mantras are spiritual sound vibrations. So when you chant Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, Patita Pavana Sitaram, or Om Namo Shivaya Namaha, or Hare Krishna, karma goes away. What intelligent person, hearing this alternative, would not take up a process like we find here in India to relieve the karma? I first learned about karma when I was a young boy. My parents, we went to Australia, and I was always interested in other cultures. I felt that every culture must have something that's attractive, that's something that has meaning. I was always questioning my mom and dad, about life. Who am I? Did I exist before you had me? Is there a God, Mommy? My parents would say, enough with those questions. I was always like that. So when we went to Australia, we went to a place called Alice Springs, right? Alice Springs. And we went to visit the Aborigines. And people think the Aborigines are backwards. But no, they're not backwards. If you meet them, they have very deep insights into life because they live very close to Mother Nature. So I remember there was one elder in a village, and we went to where he lived, very simple dwelling, kind of like a mud house. And he asked me, do you believe in God? And I looked at my mom, and I said, no, we don't know. He said, you look at my home here, he said, everything's in order. Now, as a young man, you walked into my house and you saw everything in order, you know someone lives here. If you walk and everything's disarray and abandoned, you think no one lives here. So, order is a sign of intelligence. There's somebody there. He said, son, look at the world. The sun is setting, you can determine the time. The moon is rising, the moon is setting. So many things, it's so orderly, it must mean there's a supreme being. I looked at Mommy, I said, Mommy, that answers my question, right? She said, yes, son. Then he said, I'm going to teach you something else. We went outside, and the boomerangs? Like that? He said, I'm going to show you how to throw a boomerang. And I was like 10 or 11, wow, I want to throw a boomerang. So he took the boomerang. So now you try. So, Mommy, what time are we going to have lunch? They had. So he said a famous saying in Australia, right? What goes around comes around. So I said, yeah, I can still feel the bump. He said, the world's like that. He said, whatever we do, it will come back to me. So young boy, do good things so you have a good future. That was my first introduction to karma. But later when I met my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, he went into more depth about that. So my point is we're carrying this baggage and we can liquidate it by sound. This is how the rishis become pure. No rishi is born pure. Anyone who comes into this world, who falls, you could say, from Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, into this material world, there has to be some material desire. There has to be some contamination. But the rishis know that by sound, that can be washed away very quickly. And they come here in an isolated area. They sit in the caves. They sit just under the trees, and they dedicate their entire lives just to purification, purification. And once the disease is gone, then there's the healthy life. When you're sick, you get better. So part of the yoga process is purification, and then the healthy life begins. What is the healthy life? An active life in service. In service to my family, in service to my community. There's so much pleasure that comes from serving, and ultimately serving the divine couple, Shishi, Radha, and Krishna. God is great and we're very small. So in our smallness, we serve the divine couple. We develop a very intimate, loving relationship with them. So we're all works in progress. We have a long way to go. But as Confucius said, the longest journey begins with the first step. So I think you're very fortunate you've come here. Your destiny has, or your desires have brought you here to Rishikesh, and you're coming in contact with the process that's very simple of purification, culminating in divine love eventually. And that's the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. All that baggage. And as we discussed yesterday, there's different ways you can chant this mantra. You can chant it in a community, everyone at the top of their lungs, Hare Krishna. And then the effect is that your consciousness is elevated. You come immediately to a transcendental platform where there's no hankering, there's no lamenting, there's only joy. That atmosphere is there. That's the atmosphere of the spiritual world. You don't see anyone here lamenting or hankering for something material, mundane. You come to that transcendental platform. So it would be nice to be like that all the time, wouldn't it? Yesterday the Kirtan was just like, I mentioned I was a little bit downtown. I could hear it from there. And people were walking along hearing, it's so nice. When you become elevated, you become joyful. And part of being joyful is dancing, expressing your joy through movement, through dance. Most people have a hard time because of the false ego. I don't want to dance. No. But you just let go. When all that karma goes away, you just feel like a bird. You can just fly through the sky. You just want to dance. But how to maintain that higher level of consciousness? You chant anywhere, at any time, anywhere, this mantra. You can be just on the way to school. You can be at the office if you have a few moments free. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. You smile. So this is what I'd like to introduce to you. You know, you can only be here in Rishikesh for a week or a month or a few months, but then you have to go back. You know, the government doesn't allow us more than, 6 months or something on a tourist visa. So how to take your India experience with you? How to keep how to make it not just a memory. Memories are nice, but how to keep the experience with you. I had a friend one time, I hate to say it, he stopped bathing for 2 years. You know, anyway, I'm going to do it. It was the 1960s in Haight-Ashbury in San Francisco in America. A lot of crazy things went on. He stopped bathing. I said, why have you stopped bathing? He said, I just want to keep life's experience with me. I said, no, please take a bath. But these experiences, these deeper experiences, affairs of the heart, these affairs of bhakti, the affairs of love. Bhakti means love and devotion. These experiences of love and devotion, the highest love and the highest devotion to Sri Krishna and Sri Radha, these we want to keep with us. We don't want to go home and back into work. Were you in India? Yeah, I think so. Kind of like a dream now. No. And not just memories. You want to keep the experience with you on a spiritual way. So here's one way. There's many schools of yoga. You can get many things to take home with you. But I think you'll agree that last night, that's what you want. That pleasure that comes from singing and dancing the holy name. So you can do it with japa meditation. These sacred names of Krishna are totally transcendental, and you can keep them with you every morning to begin with by doing some mantra meditation, as I discussed yesterday. Typically, the rishis in India who do the bhakti yoga, they carry these sacred beads. I've had these beads for 52 years. If you offered me $1 million, you can try, I wouldn't sell these beads. These are sacred beads from a sacred tree, chanted on by my master, and they're my life and soul. They're my connection to the divine. Sometimes in this whirlpool of material existence, sometimes we feel spiritual, sometimes we don't. Then again we do, and then we forget. But this is like a lifeline. You're drowning in the ocean, and someone from the ship, he throws you a life preserver. That life preserver is as dear to you as life itself. It's just a round tube. But no, it's the source of my deliverance from this situation. You grab onto that life preserver like it's life itself. So these beads are our connection to transcendence. We don't have to go all the way to India, sit in a yoga class, or sit under a tree in Rishikesh, or Haridwar, or Ayodhya, or Srirangam, or Tirupati. That's for inspiration. But in our daily life back home, we want to remain in the same consciousness. So we take our beads from India, and we get home in the morning, at that time before sunrise or a little bit afterwards, we sit very quietly in the asana, and then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And all the bad things in the mind are washed away. If you have a cup of poison and you pour milk into it, it mixes, keep pouring, keep pouring, keep pouring. What happens? Eventually the poison's out and there's only milk. So whatever's not proper in the mind, whatever material desires we have, anything that's an obstacle to spiritual life, it may be there. We have to be humble. We can't be proud. We're only practitioners. We're not realized yet. So there's something not right. But this is divinely right. This is non-different. The holy name of Krishna is non-different than Krishna himself. It's an avatar in sound. So you chant, you chant, you chant. It's like pouring milk into the poison. Eventually all the poison's gone and there's only milk. Transcendental logic. So therefore, when we get up in the morning, first thing, after taking a bath, of course, we sit before the day begins and we clear the mind of all stress, all anxiety, all desires, and we just totally dedicate ourselves to the sound vibration. You have to hear, hearing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Shmaranam. Hearing and chanting are the way of constant remembrance of transcendence. That's the formula. Hearing is so powerful. It's the Tadvidi paripatena paripashana sevaya upadekshanti teganam jnanashtat vadarshanaha. To understand transcendental truth, one must approach a teacher, a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively, render service to him. The self-realized souls can give you knowledge because tattva-darshani, they've seen the truth. It all begins with hearing. You hear, you hear, you hear, you hear. Poison goes away, and all of a sudden you remember, now I realize who I am. Jivera supoya Krishnera nityatas. I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. I'm the servant of a glorious master. So like that, everything auspicious comes from the chanting of Hare Krishna. So therefore, when we do it with quality. We chant 16 times around every day. That's the formula. 16 times. 1, and then back, 2, then again 3, and then 4. 16 times is a formula. It's like a kavacha. It protects you from the influence of the material energy, like transcendental armor. You can't be so affected by all the temptations and the illusions of this world. Plus, it awakens a seed of bhakti within the heart. So many benefits are there. So now we're going to chant, but this time, instead of all repeating the mantra together, you can chant at your own pace. Everyone has their own pace in spiritual life. So take the beads, as I showed you yesterday, you take the middle finger and the thumb, and you just turn the bead, and at your own pace, you can chant slow, you can chant fast, but the main thing is to hear every syllable. Not too fast and not too slow, but just hear. And also, because this is bhakti, this is awakening of divine love, you can chant with some feeling. We may not be on the highest level of ecstatic symptoms, love of God, we're not crying in ecstasy, that's okay. That takes some time. But there's gratitude that I've come in contact with a process that can elevate me above my mundane life. Maybe I'm not high, but if you're just 1 inch above as you're a drowning person, if you're 1 inch above the water, you're safe. That's a big thing. If you're just 1 inch above the water as a drowning person, that's almost like moksha, liberation. So therefore we can chant with gratitude. Very grateful that I've come in contact with something that's even greater than, science, technology, advanced medicine. That can't solve the problems of life. To transcend them through yoga. So here's a yogic process. So you can chant with feeling. One time we asked our spiritual master, what is the meaning of this mantra? So he paraphrased it. He said it means, my friend, my friend, my friend. We're appealing to Krishna. Obviously, we're singing his name. So we're appealing to Krishna, who is called the giver of liberation. Kartamashi. What's Krishna's name as the giver of liberation? Mukunda. He's the giver of liberation. We're appealing to him. Liberate me from the confines of this material existence, from this wheel of samsara. So when you're asking someone, you don't, please help me. No, please, can you help me? So you have to chant with some feeling. And a friend in need is a friend indeed. It's Krishna only as Mukunda who can deliver us from the wheel of samsara, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. So you have to, maybe you don't know him so well yet, but he's offering you liberation in the form of chanting. So you can chant, like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. I mentioned a poem the other day. My dear Lord, I'm drowning in this fathomless whirlpool of material existence. Oh, you who give shelter to the shelterless, please, won't you just this one time extend your hand to save me? So when a baby's crying, if it goes, wah, mommy doesn't come. But if something happens in the crib, maybe some cobra comes. I've heard sometimes the snakes come in the house, and then baby goes, wah, mommy comes running. So when you chant with some feeling. It's not a mechanical process. This is bhakti, this is devotion. We're dependent upon Krishna's mercy. So just, chant all the syllables at your own pace, but chant with some feeling. And love is reciprocal. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, all of them as they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So if you surrender 25%, Krishna reciprocates 25%. He arranges for you to meet some spiritual people, to come in contact with some divine literature. If you surrender 50%, he helps you 50% on the path. If you give 100%, then he's there to help you all the way. So this is kind of an experiment because you haven't really experienced Krishna yet, although he's your ever-wishing friend within your heart. Krishna's also expanded into the heart of every living entity. Chant, and chant with some feeling, okay? So everyone has their beads. Again, the middle finger and the thumb. We go from one bead to the other, like that. And we come to the end, and then we'll have a dancing kirtan. We have silent meditation, which is very beneficial. We have the soft murmuring of the mantra, and then we have ecstatic chanting and dancing. Harir Nam, Harir Nam, Harir Nam eva kevalam, kulo nashdeva, nashdeva, nashdeva gatiranyathat. Brihat Narayan Purana. That in the age of Kali, the most simple, of course, but sublime process of elevating one's consciousness and achieving perfection is the chanting of mantra, and in particular, Maha Mantra. Maha means great. Okay? So that's some explanation behind the chanting. I have a cold from the cold nights and the hot weather. But we'll chant all together. You ready? So we start with the smallest side. I think the beads are a little bigger or smaller, like that. We take the little bead, and everyone chant at their own pace. We don't have to all repeat together the mantra at the same time. And I'll meet you on the transcendental platform. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, and chant a little bit loud so you can hear yourself. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Did most of you make it around? Do you feel some satisfaction in your heart? Yeah. Imagine if you went around 16 times. You'd really feel protected from the influence of all negativity. Your heart would be bursting with positivity. And what a way to start your day. Usually we kind of wake up and we're still influenced by the dreams we had and the problems we're facing. and we go to work like that or school like that. But this is a way of cleansing. Cleansing, like we want to detox with certain diets. So this is detox of the subtle being, the subtle bodies, the mind, the intelligence, and the ego. This is the gross body. But the subtle body is the mind, the intelligence, and the ego. And it's that subtle body that goes with us life after life after life. So we carry all that anxiety from previous lives. So what a way to start the day. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. Everything coming up roses. Oh, what a beautiful, my dad used to say, what a beautiful. This is the way to start. Detox. Not just the gross body, but detox the subtle body, detox the heart, the soul with this mantra. It's the best way to start the day. And you start off on a very positive note, and people will look to you. Because we all want to associate with people who are positive, who are happy, who are successful. And in the material world, some people can be, others can't be, but on the spiritual platform, everyone can be successful by spiritual elevation. So try this, take it while you're here in Rishikesh. You can come every day, this is what we do. We chant like this. Come chant with us. And then when your trip's over, you go back home. You can take these beads home with you. When you leave at the end, we'll give you some beads to take home. That'll be your lifeline to the wonderful memories you have here in Rishikesh and beyond. So I think that we'll take it one step further. Da, 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 da. Oh, higher and higher and higher with a loud kirtan. Let's do it like that. So if I could have a few musicians up here to help little old me. Most people don't sing and dance so early in the morning. What do people sing and dance? On Friday night, on Saturday or something. Who starts every day in the morning singing and dancing? We do, but we're not privileged. We're just fortunate to have met a great soul, our spiritual master, who introduced us, intervened in our lives. Brahmanda Brahmatikonya Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasad, Bhai Bhakti Lat Bij. Since, leaving the spiritual world and coming to this mortal plane, we've been transmigrating from one universe to the next, from one species of life to the next, from one body to the next. But Guru Krishna Prasad Bhai Bhakti Lat Bij. Sometimes spiritual teachers, they travel. They don't stay in the caves. They don't stay on the banks of the Ganga, but they come to the West. You may have met some of them, and they share with you these teachings. They intervene. Stop your material existence. Take to transcendence by the practice of yoga. Yoga is more than just the asanas and getting healthy. It's transcending and leaving this world forever. So when we met our guru, Prabhupada, he said it's very simple. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And if you feel like dancing, then you dance. And of course, every night we have the feast. How many of you liked the food last night? Was it yummy? Delicious? That's part of our process. One time our guru said, because it's not material food, it's spiritual food, because it's offered to Krishna, so it takes on a transcendental nature. So he said, if you're not inclined to chant, if you're not inclined to dance, you can eat your way out of the material world into the spiritual world. It's so simple. But if you like eating, dancing, and chanting, hey, you're halfway there. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This you can sing loud. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Whoa.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hey!
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Go pray!
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey!
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Oh,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Whoa.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Dance, 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 dance,
Hare
dance.
Krishna,
Can't
Hare
dance.
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Woo!
Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Ethan.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Woo!
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Everybody up. Dance. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Whoa.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Premanjali.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Open.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Clap home.
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Kirtan.
Hare Rama,
Okay, Prem.
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Whoa, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Go
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. Go, 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 go.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram. Go, 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 go.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo.
Hari Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada.
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Go Premanande, Siddhai Go Premanande. Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe, Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Sham. What a way to start the day. Yeah. Thanks so much for being with us and making the day what it is. I mean, we're here, we've come from 11 different countries. We're
80 devotees in our movement, and we've come from so many different countries, but it wouldn't be what it is without all of you. We're actually here for you. If you have something nice and you have a lot of it, you should share it. One time, I remember when I was young, it was my birthday. I was like 11 years old. I was really hungry, and the cake came. I started eating it. My dad said, "Hey, you got to share with the others. What's nice, you got to share with the others." So it's all this event is all about sharing the bliss of chanting Hare Krishna. And as I look out, I see people from all different parts of the world. So I kind of think of it like, the United Nations of the spiritual world. United Nations is trying to bring people together, diverse people, different languages, different colors of skin, different sexes, different this and that and everything. But after 50 years, the world's they haven't brought the people together. You can only bring people together on the spiritual platform, because spiritually we're all the same. Actually, the differences are nice. Variety is in the spice of life. I travel the world. I love to go to see different people, different cultures, different languages. But really, for us to actually blend in all together, we have to realize our higher nature. We're not these bodies. We're not men or women or whatever. We're not Paraguayan, Japanese, Brazilian, Canadian. No, those are temporary identities. When the body is finished, we move on to perhaps another country, another place, another language. What is our eternal identity? We're all servants of the divine, of Krishna. We're all his parts and parcels. We're part of a spiritual family. And you can feel that when we're doing Kirtan. You don't look at the other person as something different than you. Although they're from a different country, you don't speak the same language. In Kirtan, you see everyone as brother and sister, isn't it? You're not making a distinction. Everyone's holding hands and dancing in a circle together. What has brought us together? Divinity, divine, the transcendence, the real world. This world's a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there's people, there's trees, there's land, there's lakes, there's animals, but they're all transcendental. There's no deterioration. They live forever in this beautiful world of an infinity of love that goes on and on and on. We lost the plot. We lost the plot. We came here. So don't see this painting as somebody's imagination or some poetic description or some illusion. This is actually what the spiritual world is like. That we hear from the rishis. That we hear from the yogis. That we hear from the saints. This is the real world, and this world's a perverted reflection. We're struggling here. So this kirtan gives us a sense of this unity. In the diversity, which is nice. I know 4 languages. It's very nice. But really, this wholesome attitude of community, we're all equal on the spiritual platform. We're all divine servants of the Lord. This is what we're hankering for. And that's why you dance. That's why you smile. That's why you laugh. Because for a few moments in the kirtan, you transcended the duality of material existence. It's all new to you. You don't understand so much. You don't know so much philosophy. There's a huge philosophy behind this, the Vedic scriptures. But you're getting a taste of what it's like to be in the spiritual world. Even just a little taste is enough. If you go to the ocean and you taste one drop of the ocean, you know what the whole ocean's like. It's salty. You don't have to drink the whole ocean. You take one little drop, you know what the ocean is like. So what is transcendence like? What is bhakti like? What is love like? You experience it in kirtan. You get a little taste. And if you keep chanting and chanting and chanting, believe me, more and more will be revealed to you. Some of us have been practicing for 52 years. And some realizations are coming. We're becoming happy. We don't take any drugs. We don't take any intoxication liquor. We don't do any. It's just Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. The magic's in the chanting. It brings us together on the level of transcendence. So keep it with you in your heart wherever you go. Get some beads before you leave. And on the airplane home, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And your friends will see a change in you. If we engage in a spiritual process, there has to be a change of heart. We don't just go out of tradition to some holy place or to a church, a temple, a mosque. We have to go in and come out changed for the better. So your experience here in India, in this land of Bharat, this divine land of India, you should go back a little different, change for the better. And you can keep the process going by taking the beads and chanting every day, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Proof in the pudding is, look at the smile. Smile on everybody's face here. Here's an Australian smile. Here's a South African smile. Here's an American smile. Here's an Indian smile. Here's a Chilean smile. And all of you are smiling. This is proof. It works. It works. It definitely works. So have faith, keep chanting, and stay with us. We're here for another, 15 or 16 days. It just keeps going on and on. It's like unimaginable, the bliss. Many nice places, many yoga schools. Please visit them as well. There's big programs. But don't forget us, because as soon as you walk in the door, you're going to start dancing in ecstasy. Okay? So I have another program, and we have another program here. What is it now? This beautiful young girl from Australia, she's like a canary bird. She sings so sweetly. She's very prolific on the harmonium. She's going to sing for you. She'll sing her heart out. And then we have a workshop, right? Oh, we have a workshop on? Connecting with the soul. Whoa! What a day. Stay with us the whole day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Good morning. Okay, Hare Krishna. Before we continue chanting, I just want to invite everyone, if you'd like, to just come forward a little bit more. We have so much space here in the middle, here at the front. And something wonderful about Kirtan is, as Maharaj was explaining, when we chant all together, it creates such a wonderful atmosphere. And the closer we are together and the more tight we are, I feel the more we can charge and plug into that energy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. All together.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. one more time, a little louder, all together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time, all together. Hare Krishna. One more time, a little louder with your heart. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna one more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, all together, a little louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari 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 Gaur. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for chanting and dancing so beautifully and so enthusiastically. It really is so wonderful to be here in Kirtan with all of you. And of course, the Kirtan is not over for today. We will move into our workshop now, which is going to be amazing with Tarana Chaitanya Prabhu. Maybe you've seen him singing already if you're regular here. He's a wonderful, wonderful Kirtania but also just a wonderful, wonderful person with so much knowledge to share. So we're very excited for his workshop today. So coming up next, we can give him a big round of applause. But of course, the Kirtan doesn't stop. We will be back here again in the evening for our evening sessions. Those of you who were here last night know how fired up it can get, especially towards the end. So please, please, if you can, come back, join us, continue chanting, dancing, and we'll be here for another 2 weeks plus. So if you're in Rishikesh, this is really the place to be. So grateful to all of you. Thank you so much, and Hare Krishna.
We want to create very intimate, familiar atmosphere, you know, like a small family sitting together. So just to be close to each other. You know, this is a symptom, like if you go to the Western countries and you enter the bus, and most of the people, they like to sit alone, isn't it? Everyone likes to sit alone. If someone, and then people even put a bag next to them so that no one is able to sit there. So people usually need a lot of space in the Western countries. In India, it's a little bit different, isn't it? People sit together. Sometimes they squeeze like 8 people in the seat for 3. It's a different kind of a mindset and consciousness. Because in India, when you grow up, mostly you grow up in a big families. And there is not so much space, isn't it? You people who grow up in India, you know, it's mostly big families. It's not that you have your own room with a lot of space. Usually you share the room, at least with your 1 brother, 2, 3, sometimes even more. So you grow up with very little space. In West, if you don't have your own room, the kids are really upset. Usually we need much more space, and that's how we grow up in the West. And then even when we come in the buses and the public transports, we always look for a space. Always a lot of comfort. And then when you come to India, a lot of discomfort, which is a good training for all of us. It's beautiful to be close to each other, you know, close together as a tribe, as a family. And this is what is mostly Kirtan is about, that, to bring people together. Jai. This is one of the essential things of Kirtan, to bring us together as a community. Because the word Kirtan means to glorify the Lord. But it comes from the word Sankirtan. And San comes from the Sangha. Sangha, it's a community. So Kirtan, to glorify the Lord in the community. That's actually the idea of the Kirtan. To come together, bring your voices, bring your hearts. That's what we always said. Okay, just before we start with the workshop, I would like to introduce myself a little bit, just that you have some idea who this guy is, who is talking now, and who is giving the workshop. So my name is Tarana Chaitanya Das. I'm based in Croatia, although I was born in Germany, and my parents lived there for a long, long time, and that's where we actually, my mother, she was the one who introduced us to this bhakti process. She was the one who bought the Bhagavad Gita on the streets of Cologne in Germany. And then it was contagious. It's just the whole family was caught up very soon in the bhakti. And that's how I also finally found myself here. Of course, as a young boy, you need to choose your own path. Your parents, they cannot choose the path for you. So in certain point of my life, I needed to make my choice to walk this path. And in my 20s, I really decided, okay, this will be my path. Although I was living in the ashram as a 16 years old boy. I lived 5 years in an ashram as a monk. And there was of course, there was a really rich experience, waking up at 3:30 in the morning. But there was one funny thing. In that ashram where I was living, we have a heating system. It was in the basement. And usually the heating system needs to be turned on before everyone wakes up. So the person who is putting this heating system on, he needs to wake up 1 hour earlier before everyone. So that means it's 2:30. And of course, I was the youngest. I was 16 years old. So for 1 year, I was waking up 2:30, going every morning down there, turn on the heating systems, and then showering, of course, in the cold water, and then doing my meditation while everyone is still sleeping. And then when they wake up at 3:30, then I join them. Then we meditate together. And we did a morning program, like a morning ceremonies that you have in every ashram. And like this for 5 years. And that gives me some discipline and some strength for the rest of my life. And it's also one of the reasons why I'm still sitting here with you. But as every human, I had also my ups and downs, you know. It's a part of the human experience. I think we all had it, isn't it? Sometimes you are up, sometimes you are down. But you learn out of it. This is life. What is life about? To learn out of your experiences. And that's how you collect the wisdom. Because just to have a knowledge, just to read the Bhagavad Gita, but if you don't have experience, then you don't have a realized knowledge. We all need a realized knowledge. Reading a book is one thing, but to have a realization about that is another thing. So that's why we need life experiences. So I was doing many different services as someone who was walking this path. But somewhere 15 years ago, we had a tour with Krishna Das. You all know Krishna Das, huh? It's a well-known Kirtan singer. I think he's the most known in the world. So we invited him to have a tour on the Balkans, like Croatia, Serbia, all these countries. And he willingly accepted. And we had a tour with him, and we realized that there is so many people who are eager for the Kirtan in that part of the world. In that time, I was just the organizer of Kirtan events. I never thought that I will do Kirtan and travel all around the world. Really, I never had this idea. And when we really realized that the Kirtan has so much potency there, we start to, after the tour with Krishna Das, which was a really success, so he also encouraged us to continue with that. So we start to organize once a month the Kirtan programs. In that time, I was based in Bosnia, in Sarajevo. And I start to organize these Kirtan events once a month. But then we always lack of the Kirtan singers. And I always needed to jump in to sing. In that time, that was not my thing. But I needed to do because there was no one else. And people somehow liked it. They support me. They encourage me. You need to do this more. It's really good. You need to do this more. And I accepted as a that. And I started to chant more and more. And suddenly people start to invite me to different places. And then we recorded one Maha Mantra, one melody that I made for my teacher out of gratitude. And somehow this Maha Mantra became viral. And people start to invite me all around the world, and I was confused. I didn't know what's happening. But I just embrace it. And I realized the Kirtan chose me. I didn't choose Kirtan really. Kirtan chose me to do this service. And I just accepted. And here I am, sitting now with you in Rishikesh, doing a Kirtan workshop. So that's my story in the short. Of course, we all have our life stories, but just to make it in a short, that's Tarana Chaitanya Das. Today I would like to discuss a little bit more about Kirtan. As we can see, Kirtan is a really, really simple practice. Even child can do it, isn't it? You just sit and sing. It's not so hard. But still, there is a deepness in the Kirtan. We can go so much deeper, deeper, deeper in the Kirtan. It's like when you are looking someone shooting this bow and arrow. Also, it looks very simple, isn't it? When you see someone looking bow and arrow, you think, I can do it as well. But then when you take the arrow and bow, you see, oh, it's not so simple like it looks. Huh? There are many things that you need to think about. You need to have a right body posture. You need to have a focus. You need to know how to hold the arrow and the bow. And then shoot it in the target. That's another thing. You can shoot it, but to not to miss the target is another thing. Huh? It's a big thing. So it's the same thing with the Kirtan. And there is a beautiful analogy in the scriptures, in the Shastra, about bow and arrow. They say that mantra is like a bow. Living entity, which we are, is the arrow. And the target is the absolute truth, divine consciousness, divine personality. So, to reach the target, we need to be really good shooter. Huh? We need to have a focus. But I make out of this bow and arrow, we make all the analogy. Unfortunately, we don't have a writing board, but I will try my best to present you. So this is called like a Kirtan arrow, because we as a living entity, we say we are the arrows in this analogy. So how to be a good arrow? First A from this arrow we have is a alignment. What means alignment? Means to bring something in the line. And first thing we need to bring in the line when we do Kirtan is our body. We need to have a proper body posture. This is what we learn in the yoga, isn't it? When we do yoga and meditation, especially when you sit in meditation, you need to have a proper body posture. And our teacher used to always correct the disciples, sit properly. When they used to do meditation, it was always, sit properly. Because in that time, especially in late 60s, most of them were just hippies, you know, people who didn't know anything about the right posture and yoga and meditation. So everyone was sitting, you know, like this or like this and chanting. But our mind is connected with our body. So if you have a lousy body posture, probably your mind will be also in the lousy state. So we need to make alignment amongst our body and mind. You know, our spine our spine is a symbol of a dignity of a human being. That's why in yoga we put so much effort on the spine. Huh? When you do exercises and asana, spine is a very essential thing. Also your energy to flow, huh? Your spine needs to be like this, that energy can flow properly. This is the first thing we need to do, alignment of the body and mind. Then of course we need to put our mind also in the line. This is a little bit harder. We can all make a posture with the body. That's not so hard. But to make a mind in the line is a little bit harder. You know what they say in the modern psychology? They say that we have 65,000 thoughts per day, average person. 65,000 thoughts. What do you think about it? Huh? We have a lot of thoughts, isn't it? Even now when I'm talking, some of you have thoughts going on, isn't it? And mostly these thoughts, they're taking us to two places. Which two places? Past and future. Mostly, we think what happened or what will happen. Or where will I go for lunch today? Huh? Isn't it? We think, and then, how was it this morning? It was so tough to wake up. We all the time we are going back and forth. Huh? This is the nature of our mind. It's taking us places. But in the Kirtan, we always try to bring the mind back to the mantra. This is our focus. Or a concentration, this is what is needed. How we call concentration in the yoga terminology? Do you know? Concentration? Someone knows in the yoga terminology? You must know that. Huh? Dharana, exactly. It's called dharana. Now we go a little bit into math. It is said that one dharana takes 12 seconds. So to keep your mind focused for 12 seconds on one thing. I think we all can do that, isn't it? Can we? Huh? Should we do a test? Huh? Let's do a test, huh? Okay. I will give you a mantra. We will start to chant the mantra. And then I will let you do the chanting, and I will count 12 seconds. And you will try to keep the focus, this 12 seconds on the mantra. All right? We chant the Hare Krishna is the easiest. We have the mantra here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now you chant and keep the focus. Okay, that was a little bit longer than 12 seconds. But could you keep the focus on the mantra? Or mine was start to wandering already? Huh? Huh? Was here? Was focus? Someone else? Could you keep the focus on the mantra? Huh? So, yeah. Yeah, let us be honest. Let us be honest. We are just discussing here. And honesty is the foundational quality that we need to have to grow in the spiritual life, in bhakti. So you know how they say, humility is the key for the spiritual life. Huh? To have this humility, to be humble. But very often we're mixing up what humility means. We think that humility means to be like this, and that everyone can just, kick you and do whatever you want, and you just say, yes, thank you very much. This is not humility. Mostly we confuse humility with a lower self-esteem. Humility means vision of reality. That's the definition of humility. The person who is humble has the vision of reality. And for this, honesty is required. We need to be very, very honest with ourselves and with the rest of the world. Which is very hard, I know. It's very hard to be honest, because very often people misuse when we are too honest, isn't it? So sometimes we need to protect ourselves, and out of the protection, sometimes we are not able to be completely honest. But right now, we are in the safe space, so we can be honest. No one will hurt us here. So yeah, I guess for some of us, we could keep the focus, for some of us, for challenging. But there is a next step from dharana. 12 dharana, they make one dhyana. And dhyana is translated as meditation. And now, again, into the mat is 144 seconds to keep the focus. It's like 2.5 minutes. That means that you enter in the state of meditation. That's a state of consciousness when you can keep your focus for at least 2.5 minutes. Who can do that? Huh? Someone can do it? Now you are being honest. Huh? You can do it? Huh? With regular practice is possible. I agree. Yes. With regular practice is possible. But it's mostly hard. Huh? But it sounds funny, 2.5 minutes. Come on. Isn't it? 2.5 minutes sounds very little. But still we struggle to keep the focus for 2.5 minutes. But nowadays we live in a TikTok generation. Huh? People, everything is so fast. The video, if video is longer than 30 seconds, people are saying, oh, this is too long. I can't watch this. It's too long. I can't keep my attention to that. Isn't it? Everything needs to be short, a lot of pictures, a lot of impressions. Everything, so we are bombarded with so many things. And I believe that very soon, but even already now, the attention or a focus will be a superpower. People who have focus, they will be like a Superman. Already now it's a superpower. Because we can see that for most of us it's very hard to keep the attention. But these are the basic things. When we do Kirtan, first thing we need to do to bring our mind always back to the mantra. So right posture of the body, bringing mind back to the mantra. And then the third thing that we need ally in the line with the mind and the body is our heart. So when we have a good posture of the body, focus mind, then we need some heart in the Kirtan. We need some emotion there. Because without emotion is a dry, isn't it? It's like walking through the desert. And no one likes to Kirtan when it's dry, when there are no emotions. Even just the regular music, if you listen to the regular music, what makes the difference from the great song with average song? What do you think? What makes the difference? Isn't it? It's the emotion of the song. Emotion of the artist. how much is the artist able to channel the emotions into his art. It's not only in the music, every art is like that. It's about channelizing emotions. Here, Kirtan, it's also about emotion. But here we need a little bit spiritual emotions. It's actually longing for the Lord, longing for His association. So we need to also align this kind of emotion in the Kirtan. And this is the first step that we need to make to have a beautiful Kirtan. So this is the first A of the arrow. And then we have air. First air. First air is relationship. When we chant the Kirtan, it needs to be done in a relationship. In relationship with the divine. Because this is what Kirtan is about. These days I'm really observing all our friends who come here for the Kirtan. I mean, we are all yoga people, and I see that many people have tendency to chant all the way, even when the Kirtan leader is chanting, and then also they respond. Isn't it? Most of you are taught to chant Kirtan in this way, to chant all the way. But traditionally, Kirtan is done in the call and response way. And for the reason, I was telling a few days ago why we do that, but I will repeat to you because now we're doing this kind of workshops. So first thing which is very important in the Kirtan is listening. Everything starts with the listening. It's the same thing. I gave example. Adam, I gave example when Adam was here. If I want to know Adam, how do I get to know Adam? How do you get to know someone? Isn't it? You listen from the person. You need to listen. Otherwise, if we would talk in the same time, we will not get any idea about each other, you know. Adam is talking and I'm talking. Sometimes people do that, isn't it? And this is when we sing all the time in the Kirtan. It feels like that. But listening is essential. Once they asked Mother Teresa, you know, you all know Mother Teresa, huh? You all know, you heard about her. She lived even in India, in Calcutta. So they asked her, how do you pray to Jesus? What do you say? And she said, I'm just listening what Jesus has to say to me. And then they asked her, all right, but what is Jesus saying? And then she said, he also doesn't speak much. And sometimes it feels like that in the prayer, isn't it, for all of us? You listen, but you have this impression that actually the Lord doesn't speak back. But He does. He does. If you listen very carefully. It's a process, like everything. So in Kirtan, that's why we have this call and response. Because first we start to listening. We focus and we listen to the mantra. But also when you talk to the person, you're not only listening with your ears, you try to listen also with your heart. You try to see the body language of the person. You try also to feel what kind of emotion this person is carrying. So that you got the whole idea of the person. That means listening. So fully listening, you give yourself fully into that. Because you really want to feel that person and you want to hear him. And then you will eventually get the idea who this person is. And then it's your turn. Then you can express yourself. And this is the time when we chant. So that's why we do Kirtan in this call and response way. We're listening and expressing. Because Kirtan is about expression. That's why I call it expression of the soul. Because when it's our turn to chant, then we express to the Lord whatever we have on our heart. It can be as a prayer. I mean, I will tell you, when I chant inside, I'm having conversation. Sometimes I'm lamenting to the Lord, you know. Sometimes I feel also down and I say, oh my Lord, I feel so disqualified. I don't feel qualified at all to do this service. But please accept me. Accept this beggar, unqualified person, even foolish person. Accept me as yours. Please, engage me in your service. Let me be the instrument of your love and compassion. And this is the eternal conversation. This is the dialogue which happens in the Kirtan. And then Lord responds. He shows you the mercy. He makes you His channel. He makes you His instrument in the Kirtan. And you feel it. You feel it when you are instrumental. You feel that flow. Huh? And in that way you are building relationship with the Lord. And this is very important. Doesn't matter how you call or perceive. I believe that all of us may have different maybe names for the Lord. I may call it Krishna because this is how I was taught. But you may call it differently. You may call it Shiva. You may call it Buddha. You may call it Yahweh or Jesus or Allah. Doesn't even really matter. It's the one absolute truth. It's like the sun. Huh? We have so many different names for the sun. English we say sun. Here we say Surya. Huh? In German we said Sonne. But we are all speaking about one sun, isn't it? There are no 2, 3 suns there. It's only one. So it's the same thing like here. We're speaking about one absolute truth, but just so many different names. And also maybe different ideas. But if we really go to the essence, it's always more or less the same thing. So this is the second air that we have, relationship. The first air, sorry. The second air is rendering service. But before we continue, I would just stop if you have some question or some comment on this, what we speak right now. Maybe you want to add something, or you want to, even if you don't agree, you can tell. Does it make it sense, what we speak now, till now, to this point? Make it sense or no? Please. Ah. Who is the shooter? Yeah, who is the shooter? That's a good. See, we are also the shooter, you know. We are also the shooter, but the thing is that in this analogy, the arrow is the essential because arrow needs to go to the target. But also, yeah, shooter is important. We are also the shooter. We are also the shooter in that whole story. So it's important that we have the right mindset and that we can really kind of become one with this bow. Huh? That you really connect with this bow. Bow is a mantra. So you really connect with this bow and that you can become an arrow as well. There is one beautiful story about Arjuna. You all know who is Arjuna is from Bhagavad Gita. He was the warrior. So the teacher was teaching them the martial arts skill, and it was just about bow and arrow. So they were aiming towards one bird, and the bird was on the tree. So the teacher was asking all the disciples, what do you see? So the first disciple I see the bird. All right. And then the second disciple, what do you see? I see the tree, I see the bird, I see everything, you know. So everyone was giving different answers. And then he come to the Arjuna, what do you see? And the Arjuna say, I see the eye of the bird. He went one step ahead, just shooting at the eye. So he become fully connected with his weapon and the target. So this is also the thing. When we do kirtan, we are fully become like one with our weapon. Also, when you play the instrument, you really want to connect it so much like you become one with this instrument. So it's the same thing with this analogy. So yeah, we are the shooter. Doesn't make sense that anyone else is shooting, because we are doing it. It's our free will to do it. But thank you, good question. Yeah. No one was really thinking about it. Something else? Please. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's better to listen, to have this moment of listening, to have this, because why is it? It's important because it's essential to build this relationship in that way, that you have this space when you really focus on the mantra and just listen. And then when you chant, you focus on the expression. We need both of these. Of course, sometimes even we ask everyone to chant along with us so that we chant together. We have these moments in the Kirtan when we chant. I mean, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who invented Kirtan, who is the founder of the Kirtan, he said, actually for Kirtan there are no strict rules and regulations. Kirtan you can do, however, just do it. So Kirtan doesn't have such a strict rules and regulations. But for the sake of relationship, we have these things, that we have this listening and expressing. You want to shift it, huh? Yeah, the thing is that this is a process, and it's a kind of a training. It's a training. So we need to have a certain frame when we do training. Whatever you do, when you are in the process of the training, it's good to keep the frame. And then we are really trained well after many, many years of doing kirtan and really connecting with the Lord. Then eventually we can be very spontaneous. It's not that kirtan wants to kill the spontaneity of the human being and the expression, of course. We like to keep the spontaneity and expression. But still it's good to keep the frame, till we are in the process of the training. So I would suggest to really try to listen and express, to have both of these things, I mean, of course, if sometimes you really feel urged to chant, then chant, yeah. If it's really coming from the heart and you feel this is the urge, I want to express myself this moment, I want to chant for you, Lord. Yeah, then it's all right, of course. Then we chant. But I will always suggest to keep the frame for a while, till we really get trained. And we can always be spontaneous, that's not... Yes, please, she raised the hands first, and then we come to you, please. Mm. 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 Yeah. No, it's a common thing. It doesn't happen only. It happened to many people, isn't it? So many people agree. Yes, yes, it's happening to many of us. I mean, I guess for us it doesn't happen because we chant almost all life this mantra, you know, and then of course the mantra is already like it's like a tattoo in the heart, you know. It's hard to, but when you just getting into the mantra, you know, like everything, it takes time really to mantra to sit in your heart, to really sit there, to settle down in your heart, and then it will really come naturally. But of course, even then, the mind will be active. Even me, after doing so many years of kirtan, you know, it happens to me that sometimes I'm disturbed. The person who plays karatas doesn't play as I would like him to play, or the mridanga player is playing a little bit off the beat, or a little bit fasting up, and my mind goes to that. My attention goes to these places, and then I try to correct this, and then I realize, oh, come on, you want to control the holy name. You want to control Krishna. Oh, Tarana, come on. You can't control the Lord. You can't control the mantra. You are not there to control. You are there to serve. And then, you know, I'm trying to shift my consciousness and focus on the holy name. But sometimes it's a big struggle. It's a big struggle. Sometimes I struggle the all kirtan. Really. Sometimes I struggle half of the kirtan. And then in the middle of kirtan, I surrender. I say, okay, I give up. Okay, I'm surrendering now. I surrender to the mantra. I surrender to you, Lord. I'm just humble servant, nothing else. But sometimes there's inside is happening many things, you know, you struggle, you fight. But with the mantra, I think it comes with the time, you know, it comes with the time. Huh? Okay.
My brain just goes, whoop. Or as you're speaking to, like, you know, when people are doing so much recording, and I find myself irritated, I'm like, you know, come on, let's just be here in this moment. Like, you have to record every minute of your life. Like, can we just, you know, because I have somebody with the screen. Sometimes I'm behind someone, they put the screen in front of my face.
Yeah.
So, like, are you serious? And so, like, these kind of things, okay, this I can see, but yeah, it's interesting. Even just when the melody changes, sometimes I just feel like the words, I can't get them in the right order, and I just kind of have to laugh. I don't know. I don't know what happens to. I don't know about anybody else, but my head just sometimes goes sideways.
Yeah, well, in that situation, we can only really bring our attention back to the mantra, right? Trying to really bring the focus on the mantra, focus on the listening very hardly, and come back. It's always about coming back, you know. Whenever mind wanders or these things happen to us, we just come back. It's like in life, when you fall down, you stand up, you know. You just, okay, I fall, you go ahead. Huh? It's like, it's same like in life, same thing. So even in kirtan, if it happens something like this, we just come back. It happened, all right, doesn't matter. We come back, I continue to chant, focus my mind, let us do the kirtan. Like same thing like I was telling, my attention goes to mridanga player, to kartal player, but I'm bringing back, I try to bring it back all the time. Trying to bring it back. And this will happen to all of us. Definitely. The mind will wander. Doesn't matter if it's maybe the order of Mahamantra, or mind will take us to some thoughts, some other places, but we need to bring it back. This alignment, this is always back to alignment. We come to the first thing. Bring everything in the line again, and then we start. It's a process. It's a process for all of us. Doesn't matter how long we do it with all life, or 1 year, or 2 months. It's the same for all of us. Just the perspective a little bit changes with the time. We are dealing with different things. But we can't change that. The only thing we can change is how we deal with that. How we react, our reaction. This is the only thing we can really impact. How we deal with that. Yeah, but it's an interesting thing. Thank you for the question. It's a very good question, and I see many people can relate with that. So please.
train our brain like we keep on thinking, you know. So we are not trained for it to concentrate on one. And our brain is multitasking all the time. Something going home, something in the work related. So all the time things are coming pop up in the mind. So the first stage of the mind will be work on the concentration of, we are multidimensional thoughts. So we have to concentrate into one side, and then second stages is like the flow of the thoughts will start coming in, you know, frequencies. Like suppose if you are getting a thought in per second, it will start going down with another stage when you keep on practicing. That is the stage we call dharma, the concentration. So concentration starts with the 5 stages of mind. And in the last stage, when you keep on concentrating, the frequency of the thoughts start going down. So you will get it like in 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, the thoughts start going down. And this is how it's called we reach the stage of ekagrata, that is the actual stage of meditation. So this is what we are going through. And what actually chanting helps us. Chanting is basically we do in a rhythmic way. So we create a loop in a rhythmic way, so that our ears are very easy to adopt something in rhythm, something related to music or story. We adapt fast. So rhythm is very helpful in breaking down your thoughts.
Yes.
So that's why chanting helps us to go away from the thoughts which whatever is going in the life, and come back to the and changing time to time those rhythm helps keep the interest alive.
Yeah.
So
That's why Kirtan is so powerful and so helpful for us. Even the word mantra, mantra, it comes from two words. Manas, which means mind, and trayate, which means to free the mind. You free the mind from the thoughts. We have actually 3 activities of the mind. According to the yoga psychology, there are 3 activities of the mind. You know what are those 3 activities of the mind? No? The first one? Thoughts. Second activity of the mind? Desires. And the third activity of manas? Feelings. For us from the West, it's a little bit hard to accept this, because when we say manas, we translate it as a mind. And this is not the best translation, but it's the best we have. Because manas is more like a field. It's more like a field of memory, impressions, our samskaras. Everything what we experience is like a storage. It's like a storage, big storage. Every experiences are there in this manas field. And that's why feelings are also there. Of course, we like always to separate feelings or emotions from the mind. But in a yoga psychology, in this manas field, they come all together. Feelings, desires, and thoughts. These are the 3 activities of the mind. And mantra means to be free of all of this. That's the power of the mantra. Okay, please.
Yes, thank you. I have a question. So, when I play the harmonium alone, it's more easy for me to do what I feel. So, what I feel is that I enter in a deep connection with the mantra, okay, and I can lose also my mind. But when I try to do Kirtan,
Others?
I have to control also what they do, if they are chanting or not chanting. And also, I want to, for example, to change my voice, but I think if I change my voice, we are not able to do the same things. So I lose my spontaneity.
Good question. And it brings me to this second air that I wanted to go. We said rendering service is the second air. So we have alignment, relationship, and now we come to the third point, is a rendering service. So when we do kirtan, we do it in the mood of a service. So as a kirtan leader, sometimes you see kirtan leader on the stage. Usually I don't prefer, to be honest. I hope organizers are not here. I don't like to be on the stage when we do kirtan. I like it more to sit like this, on the same level with you guys. It's much easier for me to connect. And idea of kirtan is that we are on the same level. And then the second thing is that I don't want to be focus of everyone's attention. It's not about me. It's not about a mridanga player. It's not about the band. It's about all of us coming together. So when you do kirtan, you do it as an offering service. So everyone needs to do it. Mridanga player, when he plays, it needs to be in the mood of the service, not to show off his music abilities and how many rhythms he can play, whatever he can do. Karatal also, they all need to be in the service. So you don't show off here. Or harmonium, I sing, so I show my beautiful voice, how beautifully I sing. Huh? Krishna has demigods there, they sing million times more beautiful than any of us. He doesn't need my beautiful voice. Probably my voice sounds like a crow to him. Huh? It's not about that. Krishna is listening to your heart. This is what really matters. What is your attitude when you sing? What is the state of consciousness you have when you chant the holy names? This is what counts. And when we sing with other people, of course, it makes a difference because we need to make a harmony together. We need to all be in the service mood. And you said one very significant word, you try to control them. And this is what I also try to do sometimes, but we cannot control. We need to let it go. But in the same time, your duty, that's a catchy thing. Do we have more kirtan leaders here? Who else is leading kirtan here? I would just like to have the idea. Okay, some of you leading kirtan. When your duty as someone who is leading the kirtan is to take care that everyone is in the harmony, that there is no chaos there. So you need to take care that everyone is actually listening and that everyone is like an orchestra, that we are all in the harmony. And sometimes this is not the case. But it's not about control. You want to remind everyone that we are here to serve. We are here to serve the holy name. And before the kirtan, we need to create this kind of environment. That's why before the kirtan, I always like to tell some story or just say something little bit significant that creates the right mood. And that you remind people, okay, we are here to do a service. This is a service. And do you remember, I give the definition of the service. Does someone remember? What is the definition of the service? Huh? No? Very simple. Definition of service is love in action. Remember always this, love in action. If you forget everything from this workshop, if you forget about me, remember, love in action. This is essential. We are showing our love through the actions. So I can now say to all of you, I love you so much. Would you believe me? Huh? Be honest. Huh? No, most of you will not believe me. Maybe some of you will because you are nice people, and maybe you are also naive a little bit. I mean, on some degree, I love all living beings, so I love you as well as a living being, as a part of Krishna. But to truly love someone, you need to show this through your actions. Not just talking about love. But if I would do something for all of you on daily basis, if I go now to kitchen and make pizza for all of you, and serve you, Maybe if I take all the ladies to the spa, to some nice massage, sauna, jacuzzi, all the gentlemen I take to, I don't know what gents like to do these days, some sport or whatever. And if I do this on the daily basis, and then after some time, after maybe 1 year, if I tell you I love you so much, then you would believe me, isn't it? Actions speak louder than words. And this is what service actually means. Love in action. And this is what we want to do here. And when we do Kirtan, we want to show our love. Doesn't matter, we have maybe little love for the Lord. We have actually a lot of love, but mostly this bhakti is at sleep. It's at sleep. And we want to awake it with the Kirtan. But some bhakti is there for all of us. We have some devotion. Otherwise, you will not sit here. You will be somewhere else. There are many other things to do in Rishikesh than sitting here in workshop and listening to some guy. But you are here. That means that some devotion is there. And we want to awake this devotion. But showing love through the actions. And when we do Kirtan, that's what we want to do. And so you want to inspire everyone that they also have the same attitude. And when you create such a mood, then you will see the environment changing and people will also approach it differently. But also you don't try to control it. You try to inspire people to chant in the right mood, or maybe that the mood that you want to create. But we should not be also attached to this. We need to be detached. Say, Krishna, I am letting it go. It depends on you. Because actually the holy name is leading the Kirtan, not me. I am not the Kirtan leader. The mantra is the leader. I am following the mantra. That's why I want to listen first, very attentively. Then I give all my intention on expressing, but all my focus is on the mantra. And I let mantra lead the Kirtan, not me. And when the right moment is there, mantra leading the Kirtan, mantra will tell you, okay, now this is the right moment to change the melody. Now this is the right moment to speed up the Kirtan. But you do it by following the mantra, not by following your mind. Because mostly we want to create uplifting atmosphere on the Kirtan. Sometimes we force, we want everyone to dance, we want everyone to be ecstatic. But there is no need for that. I will tell you one experience from Norway. Is there someone from Norway here? No, Okay, that's good. I'm joking. But in Norway, I was doing Kirtan in Norway. And, people there are quite reserved. They need some time to open up. I guess when you have a cold country, cold weather, then also people are a little bit more, colder, a little bit more reserved. They need more time to open up. And I realized that because I travel to different countries, and so I go to Norway, and then I go to south of Spain. It's a huge difference. When you come in Spain, after 5 minutes, everyone is already up. I'm just chanting very slow, and everyone is standing up. They're pushing me. Okay, make it faster. Let's go dance. And what to speak about South America? They don't let you do slow Kirtan. So I was leading the Kirtan, and I saw one gentleman was sitting in the back row, like this gentleman there. But this gentleman is you can see on his face, he's very relaxed, very, very kind. This gentleman in Norway, he was very tense, like angry, looking at me like this all the time. And I was thinking, I don't know, maybe I'm doing something wrong here, or maybe he's upset with something I said before the Kirtan, But anyway, I'm doing my service, what to do? And I'm chanting, and I'm thinking this guy will be the first one to leave. Probably he will not stay till the end of the Kirtan, because he was looking angry all the Kirtan. And yeah, Kirtan was really ecstatic. Some people start to dance. But this gentleman, all Kirtan, he was sitting and looking like this. And when Kirtan was finished, when Kirtan was over, I just thank everyone and stuff. And then the first person came to me after the Kirtan was this guy. He came to me and he said, "This was the best experience in my life." He said, "Thank you so much. I never experienced something like this." And he told me he's a scientist. He's a scientist, and he said, "I'm an atheist. I never believed in God. But from this experience, I believe that something exists. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to call it. I don't know how to perceive it. But I believe now something exists." So you never know what people actually experience, because we have certain judgment, how people should look, what should they do in Kirtan, that Kirtan is nice, But this is not true. We are all different, isn't it? Some of you don't feel like dancing. You feel like just being in your own space and meditate. And that's all right. We should not push people to do something that they don't want to do. Because even Krishna gave us a free will to do whatever we want. And who are we to just, push people to do certain things that we think is right? Also, what I learned in that situation, I learned that, holy name or mantra or Krishna is completely independent. And it has relationship with each person. And we need to understand that. It's very personal, this relationship with the divine. Very intimate. Although we are doing it together, we are all together, everyone is having his own experience. And we need to appreciate that. Of course, me as a Kirtan leader, I like when you all dance. For me, it's inspiring to see people dancing, smiling. It gives us kind of inspiration. But doesn't need to be. Doesn't need to be. So, and now we go to did I answer your question? And now we go to O. So we have A, 2 R's. So alignment, relationship, rendering service. And now we come to O, opening the heart. It's a very important one. So now when we aligned our body, mind, and heart, when we rebuild the relationship, we are in the mood of the service. Now we need to open the heart. We need to open the space for the Lord. Although I said Lord is already in our heart. But to open the heart means to really, really surrender in that kirtan. That means to really give everything you have. I see sometimes people barely chanting in the kirtan. Sometimes some people are shy to sing, because you think I have a bad voice. Does some of you have this thought that you are not a good singer? Just be honest, please. Feel free to say, yes, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. We are not all born to be great singers. We are all not meant to be great singers. Even for myself, I don't think I'm a great singer. And not at all good musician. I'm a very, very limited musician. And there are people who sing much better than I do. But I believe when you really do it for the Lord, when you really do it from your heart to Him, in that moment you're opening the heart for Him, and your voice doesn't matter if it's not really the most beautiful voice on the planet, But the Lord accepted. As I said, He doesn't care how beautiful our voice is. He cares what you have in your heart. But the idea is to put the voices together. And when we create this one voice, then there is a big difference, isn't it? When we put the voices together. Let us try to do this now. Let us do something practical. I want to chant now something with you. Let us try to now implement all these things that we are talking. Let us have the right body posture. Let us sit properly. We will not do it for long, so please let us try to sit with our back straight. Try to open a little bit your shoulders, so open the chest actually, open the chest a little bit, yes. And then relax the shoulders. Without any tension in your body. And now bring your mind to the mantra, which will come. And focus now on the area of your heart. You can close your eyes for a moment. And now breathe in and focus on the area on the heart. And exhale and go a little bit deeper into the space of the heart. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, attention to the heart. Exhale, a little bit deeper in that space of the heart. We do it one more time, please. Keep the focus. All the attention is on your heart. One more time. We breathe in. Exhale. Go deeper in that area of your heart. And now we will chant Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. So first we just listen. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Now you chant. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Everybody with your heart. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Let's try to chant in the relationship with the divine. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Rendering service. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Opening the heart. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Shri Ram, Jayo Ram, Jayo Jayo Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Keep the focus on the mantra. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. And now we try to sing from the area of the heart. We continue to sing. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. From the heart. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 We always stay after the kirtan, we stay for a little bit in the silence. And you try now to listen. Can you still hear the mantra going on inside of you? Can you? Yeah. Yeah. If we can still hear the mantra, that means that we really connected and that we entered in meditation. If not, then there is a space for improvement, and we try it again and again. You can open your eyes now. See, sometimes we do this 12-hour kirtans. We have this in some communities. It's called like kirtan festivals. Very often I go to Italy. Is there someone from Italy here? Yes? Okay. I come very often to Italy to do kirtans. Close to Florence, we have one community called Villa Vrindavan. And then we do 2 days, 12-hour kirtans. We start 10 in the morning, and we finish 10 in the evening, sometimes 11. So it's more even than 12 hours. So only kirtaniyas are changing. Every hour is a new kirtaniya. Like here, we also change every hour. But there we do 12 hours in the one shot. And of course, we try to stay as long as possible in the kirtan. I try personally to stay at least 8-9 hours. I just go for a lunch break, go some lunch, take a small rest, and then come back. And usually we try to stay 8, 9, 10 hours if it's possible. And then what happens after such a 2 days? Sometimes even more, because sometimes I finish with one festival and then I go immediately to another, which is the same character, same kind of festival, also all day chanting. And what happens when I go to sleep, I can still hear the mantra going on inside of me. Maybe some of you experience this now because you're coming every day. Did you experience that? That you come to your room and you can still hear the mantra? Huh? Yes. Yeah, and also, I just wanted to say this. Oh, and then I wake up the next day, and the mantra is still there. It's still there. It's still going on. Because they say that Kirtan should be 24 hours. You know, inside, the Kirtan should always go on. That's a really like advanced stage, huh? But when you are spending a lot of time in the Kirtan, it happens. It happens. Some of you have this experience. Like you wake up and you still hear the mantra. It's crazy, isn't it? Mantra is still there. You just keep chanting. Like you're waking up, taking shower, and you just continue the Kirtan from the last night. Yeah? It's happening. It's happening. So this part, when we open our heart to the Lord, it's very important in the chanting. That you can really open your heart honestly to the Lord and chant. We say, when we chant the holy names, we chant in the mood of longing, mood of separation. Because right now, although the Lord is always with us, He's here with us all the time. But still, we miss His association. Huh? And in the Kirtan, that's what we want to express. Lord, I miss your association. I want to hang out with you. I want to be more with you. Like George Harrison is singing his song, I really want to see you. You know the song, Dear my Lord, my sweet Lord. I want to be with you. And this is what we're expressing in the Kirtan. We're opening the heart. And when you put this kind of emotions, when you put so much heart in the Kirtan, believe me, you will experience the mercy of the Lord. You will experience the love, the compassion, everything what Lord has to give to us. And then the final letter is double W. How you say it? Double V, huh? Double V is welcoming the divine gift. Because when you open the heart, when you do all these things, when you align, when you have relationship, when you're rendering service, you open the heart, then you just need to welcome the divine gifts. And they will come, believe me. But without expectations, of course. We don't do this with such expectations. Okay, now I'm waiting. Where are the gifts? Huh? It's not like this. Huh? But they will come. If you implement all of those things in the Kirtan, divine gifts, they will come. And you will feel blessed. And you experience, all of you have this experience. Because I know that many of you are chanting for many years and have many experience. So you all have this already. Maybe some of you not, but you will experience it. Even these days you experience it. Like when in the evening, last night, the last Kirtan, when Madhava was chanting, when all of you went wild and we were all wild, dancing, smiling, you can see that you all experience the bliss. You all experience divine gifts. Because you stayed. You stay here for hours and chant. It's a process of surrender. I know that also maybe in some moment, maybe also mind tells you, maybe you should just go a little bit. Take a walk. Just go walk in Ganga. Go somewhere for the dinner. Or go somewhere else. This is too much, you know. These people chanting only Hare Krishna. These people are a little bit off, you know, crazy. Maybe mind tells you some things, you know, but you stay here. You stay here, you surrender, and then you dance, you chant, and you receive these divine gifts. And you experience the Kirtan to the fullest. Kirtan is such a beautiful practice, you know. And they say in this Kali, age of Kali, that we live right now, there is a one, they say, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, Kalau nasti eva, nasti eva, nasti eva gatiranyata. They say in this age of Kali, they say there is no other way. They say 3 times, no other way, no other way. I mean, sounds a little bit too much secluded, but that's how they say, than chanting the divine names. Because if you see rishis in this place is called Rishikesh, because the rishis used to live here. All these caves and places, Ganga, the rishis used to do big austerities, big tapasya. They used to stand on one leg and meditate for years. How long you can stay on one leg? Huh? Even if you are the best yoga practitioner, you can do it maybe for a minute or 2. But these guys, they used to stay for years like this. They used to live in the caves, eat just some fruits eventually, maybe, water. But we are not meant to live in the caves anymore. We can't do that. And we don't need to do that. So every age has a certain practice, you know. In some age was a meditation. In one age was yagya, doing yagyas, reciting mantras. But for this age is recommended by the scriptures. Of course, we can do other things as well. It's not that we just need to do only this, you know. This is a little bit sectarian then in that sense. But for this age is recommended by the scriptures that Kirtan is a wonderful process. Why? Because they say, Kalau Sangha Shakti. In this age of Kali, the Shakti or the power is in Sangha, in the community. People coming together makes the things powerful. And that they say Sankirtan is for this age, community coming together and sing. And this is not so easy in this age. Just to bring 2 people together nowadays is hard, isn't it? What to say about bringing 100 people together to chant on daily basis? It's very hard. And you all know when you come back to your homes, maybe you would like to have such a Kirtan Sangha on regular basis. And sometimes it's hard to have an even small group of people to come to chant regularly. But please try to do that. Try to establish like a small Kirtan Sanghas at your home. Once a week. Do it once a week. Or just start once a month. But start with something. Small Kirtan Sangha. Bring 5, 6 people. Doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be a big group of the people. 5, 6, 7. And then you can chant a little bit. You can discuss a little bit about Kirtan. And in this way, you progress, you develop, you grow. And also other people grow with you. And then when you build small community like this with this Kirtan Sangha, then you can maybe share this with other people, with your friends. Maybe you can organize Kirtan event in your city. So slowly, slowly you want to share this with others. And this is why we are doing this festival, you know, because we want to share this with you and with everyone. Because I know in my life what Kirtan did for my life. If there was no Kirtan, who knows what would happen? Who knows if I would be alive? I had a crazy life. Better that you don't know. I was a soldier also. One part of my life, I was a soldier for some years, even in the war. So I seen things, I experienced many things. And Kirtan, I can say with most sincere and grateful heart that Kirtan saved my life. And for this reason only, I strongly believe in the power of Kirtan. I strongly believe in the power of the chanting of the holy names. And that's why I wanted to share it with all of you. Thank you. So let us now conclude a little bit. If you have some more questions, we will just go for 5 minutes more and then we will finish because it's already 1 o'clock. Do you have some maybe questions, some comments, even some critique is all right. You don't need to agree with me, you know. We can have different opinions, but that doesn't mean that we need to fight or anything. Everyone can express his opinion, even if it's a different, you know, that's all right. Please, lady. Yes.
Thing to do. So how to not expect anything from anyone?
Oh, it's a very it's a wonderful question. Wonderful question. It's a very hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do. If we are honest, it's very hard to think for all of us. Because whatever we do, somewhere in the corner of our heart or our mind, we are expecting something in return. This is the nature of conditioned soul. And we are all conditioned souls. I'm sorry to tell you that. But this is the truth. Otherwise, we will not be here. If we would be liberated souls, we would be somewhere else. Probably Goloka, Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha, or some spiritual dimension. But unfortunately, because we are conditioned, we are here. But we are here to learn. This life is a school of love, you know? We are here like in the school. We are learning how to love. Through the relationships, through the kirtan, through the practice. And one of the hardest things is to be without expectations, of course. With doing something without expecting something in the return. So while I was living in the ashram, you know, when I was a young boy, we used to have one thing that we did. So you do service for someone and that he doesn't know that you did it. So sometimes you would take a clothes from your fellow monk, you take a clothes, you wash it, you put it to dry, and he doesn't know who did it. And when he comes and he sees, wow, someone washed my clothes, right? Who did it? No one did it. It's not like, I did it, you know? Not like that. You just did it, and of course you would like him to praise you and to say thank you, but no. You try to do it without expecting anything in return. And we have a kirtan coming. Yeah. No, it's okay. We just go for a few minutes. So we need to more focus on us doing something for others. Just not to expect anything in return. You try just to do it. So focus on yourself. Focus. I will do something for you. But not to expect anything in return. Although you know there is something in you that would like. But try to do these things that people don't know what you did to them. Try to do like a hidden service. Start with this. You do something for someone that he doesn't know that you did it. Start with this. And let us try to do something for others that we don't look for the recognition. That's a very important part. Just observe, you maybe have children? No. Like, observe the mothers. I like to observe the mothers. The mothers are the best example. Every mother. When mother do something from the child, it's mostly unconditional. Although the mother also expects the child to behave nicely, you know. Even the mother has certain level of expectations. But it's a training. It's a training. Like we did this as a monks. You do service so that people don't know what you did. And let us try to do as much as this attitude of the service. Very important what kind of attitude we have when we do something for others. Because if we expect something in return, that means this is a business. It's a trade. Even with the Lord, we do that. I will do the service, but please, Lord, please give me a good wife, give me a good husband, give me a nice house, good job. We always praise for some material things, isn't it? Even in the Bible, we say, give us our daily bread. This is quite conditioned. I don't want to criticize, but I just want to put the attention on that. Give me a daily bread. Why do you pray for daily bread? This is kind of a business. I do something for you, you give me something back. No. In bhakti, devotion, that means that you do something out of love, love in action. And we really need to try to be as more as possible love in action in our life. And we will get purified with the time. Of course, we will have expectations. But if we continue to do it, serve, 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 we will eventually get purified. It's the process of purification. We need to purify the heart because in our heart there is a lot of expectations. So we need to enter the process of purification. And also chanting the holy name also purifies our heart. So we need to do things for others as much as possible with as less expectation as possible. And whenever we see that we're expecting something, we just become aware of it. And try, okay, I found the expectations in my heart, but I want to let go these expectations. It's a process. It's not something that we can switch and do it over the night, like everything. Everything we speak about, everything is a training, as a process. It's the same thing as with expectations. It's one of the hardest things to do. Really, really. Even after so many years of practice, still, I also found in my heart that I expect sometimes, people to recognize my service, people to recognize me, in a certain degree, of course. And when I realize that, I want to change it. You become aware of that, and then you say, okay, Tarna, it's not about that. It's not about people recognizing you. There is one beautiful, I will end with this verse. There is one beautiful verse from the founder of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, founder of Kirtan. He said, Trinad api sunichana, taror iva sahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. He said, Trinad api sunichana, being more humble than a blade of grass. Imagine, blade of grass, you can step on it, it goes down. Isn't it? When you step on the grass goes down. And then it comes back. It's very humble. Blade grass is the most humble. We say more humble than a blade of grass. Taror iva sahishnuna, more tolerant than a tree. How the tree is the most tolerant. You can cut it. You can do whatever you want with the tree. You can piss on it, but tree will not give back. The tree will tolerate any circumstances. It's the most tolerant living being on the planet. Say, more tolerant than a tree. Amanina manadena. Being able to give respect to others and not to expect respect to yourself. And they say, in this state of consciousness, Kirtaniya Sadahari, you can chant the holy names forever. So this is the state of mind that is required for the chanting of the divine names. It's a very high level stuff here we're speaking now, just to understand. But just to giving example, this is the state of mind of the sadhu, of the holy person. And we want to go in that way. We want to go in that way. We want to establish humility in our life. We want to establish tolerance. So these are the qualities that we need to work on. Humility, tolerance, and appreciation for others. And try not to expect that people also respect us. See, but we need to be clear here. Of course, when you are in relationship, you need that people acknowledge you, that they see you. This is very important, that the people don't take you for granted. That's important. Huh? But we don't long for respect. We just don't go after people. Respect me, respect me. You know who I am? You know how people say, you know who I am? You know, it's not that. So we try really to develop these qualities, and they will help us not to have such a big expectations. So the key is humility, tolerance, and appreciation to others. And then eventually, it's a process, yeah. But these qualities we need to develop. Humility, tolerance, and appreciation for others. And then it will be easier. We all need to try. It's not only you, believe me. It's all of us. It's all of us. It's very important, people, be very honest with yourself and be who you are. One teacher, the last thought, one teacher before he left this planet, he said to us as a swan song, he said, be yourself and contribute. And this is the idea. Just be who you are and contribute. Give your contribution. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being such an attentive crowd, that you are really beautiful, beautiful questions, beautiful discussion, and I really appreciate your presence. And I'm looking forward to see you tonight, this evening. Please come if you can, of course. And we chant together, and we try to implement all these things that we speak about, all right? Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaste. Hare. Blissful day.